I'm going to tell you in this video how photographs in the hospital room might just save your loved one's life in the ICU. Now, what is my experience with this? My husband was on a ventilator due to COVID pneumonia. He was given almost a zero chance of survival. Actually, the doctors tried to convince me to pull life support after 9 days. And of course, thankfully, I said no. And he is alive today. It's almost 5 years later, and he's not only alive, he's thriving. But what we went through was pretty awful, and there was no hope at that time. His doctors and nurses did not expect him to live. What I did with the help of my lovely sister-in-law was we printed out huge photos of my husband Drew surfing, paddleboarding, photos of him with his family, photos of him doing fun stuff. We blew them up huge and we put them all over the hospital room. And what that did was a number of things. One, when he was awake, it reminded him of who he was and what his life was that he was going to want to get back to. So it kept him tethered to a real reality. And that's important because when you are hospitalized for a long period of time, you become institutionalized. And you see this with elderly people who end up in nursing homes. It's very quickly they become institutionalized and lose who they are. So those photographs keep them tethered to who they are. But the second thing, and more importantly, is it tells the doctors and nurses who this patient is and why they are worth going the extra mile, that they're human with families, with hobbies, and that they are not just another number laying in that bed. And when a doctor and nurse becomes emotionally involved with a patient, I'm going to say it, and this is true because I saw it with my own eyes, they work harder to not just help that person stay alive, but to help them recover in a better way. So that's why you want the photos all over the walls. And I'm going to tell you, when my husband was in there and he was in a coma for a month in the ICU, nurses would walk in and see pictures of him surfing on the wall. And a nurse would say to me, this one nurse came in and she said to me, "Oh, is that your husband surfing? Was he a surfer?" And I looked at her and I corrected her and I said, "No, he is a surfer and he will surf again." Now she looked at me like I was cuckoo, but I corrected every single nurse that walked in there and said, "Oh, he was a surfer." I wanted them to see him surfing again. I wanted them to visualize it in their mind because if they could see it, it would lead them to the right actions that would help him get home, get healthy, and get back on his surfboard. It worked. I hope this was helpful. Hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, and let me know, have you done this for your loved one? And what did you do that worked? Share in the comments. I love you. I mean it. Ciao.